All right, how you guys doing? I'd like to welcome you to my blog for the week of August the 14th. Um, Today I was inspired, or this week's blog is inspired by an article I read in the Standard Bearer of Truth, that is, Us Weekly. Uh, it's a horrible magazine. Shit. But in this particular issue, there was an article that very much so intrigued me, featuring Charlize Theron discussing or talking about some sort of fling she had with Ryan Reynolds, and I was shocked to find that she was shocked, or at least seemed somewhat taken aback, that Ryan Reynolds is what she labeled a player. He wasn't ready for commitment, which is about as shocking to me as water at the beach. It was more shocking to me that anybody would be surprised by this. Though it prompted me to do this blog to give Charlize and any other woman out there that may be a little bit confused as to how us men really work. Give you guys, three main pointers I think have always sort of bothered me about women, to help you guys figure out where things are as compared to where you guys think they are. Okay, point number one. Options. Okay. Options for men are unfamiliar territory. And when you become Ryan Reynolds, sexiest man alive, Ryan, your boyfriend, just might be having fantasies about him while he's watching a movie featuring him, Reynolds, you're in a whole nother zone, the option zone. And you have to think of it like, before you're Ryan Reynolds, maybe you're just Ryan Reynolds, vagina for you is like behind a giant 90-foot wall, okay? And this wall is made of limestone, and it's covered in 12-inch thick titanium. And then there's turret guns inside of that. And then on top of that, there are guys with fiery arrows ready to kill you in an instant. And then behind that, there's those giant orc thingies from Lord of the Rings. And behind them, there's those like walker dudes from the robots from Star Wars with the guns right under their chin right there. Yeah. And then behind them, there's little rabbit dogs with gnarly teeth just waiting to eat your intestines out and give you rabies. So that's what it's like for the average guy to get vagina. So, when he gets it, he takes what he gets. Then you become Ryan Reynolds, and all of a sudden you are king of shittia. And women are throwing vagina down at your coronation from the walls like Martha Stewart dumping stock when the SEC came in. Okay, it's a totally different story. It's the only way I can get you to understand the difference there. For you guys, it's a curse. For us, we love it. So, you're going to have a real problem making a guy who's just discovered that area, shackle down and commit. If he hears chains jingling, he might get scared and run right out of that fucking diner with a whole bunch of men screaming after him, "Run for your freedom!" Because they're vicariously living through Ryan Reynolds. So that's that point. Brings me to point number two, which is really, if I was making a list, would probably be number one. I mean, this is the worst thing I've ever heard coming to women. It bothers me to no end when women insist that the men in their lives are there simply because they only want to be their friends. Okay, this has to stop, people. Men do not come into your life to be your friend, okay? I'm not saying they can't be. I'm not saying they never are. I'm saying that if chances are you have 12 men in your entourage of friends, 11 of them motherfuckers are probably waiting their turn to fuck, okay? I'm not saying they're mean. I'm not saying they're just, lasciviously waiting. I'm just saying that if you called them one night and said, "Oh my gosh, Tommy, I'm in need of a sturdy fucking," you would hear tires screeching and your doorbell ringing before you could finish the last vowel in that sentence. I promise you. Okay, that's what it is. That's the truth, because they're not just interested in being your friend. They were always there to try to eventually get there. Men only have two things. They're the Terminator, okay? The Terminator didn't have like other options besides terminate. He didn't have like, oh yeah, hit him in the kneecap, or oh yeah, chop him in the throat, you know what I'm saying? He had terminate this motherfucker, get rid of him, okay? There is no, phaser set to stun, okay? So, you guys got to stop being, John Connor on that one. You remember that scene, and he needs to terminate his help. He comes over there, and Terminator's ready to put a cap in their ass, and then he's like, "Hey, you can't, and the Terminator's like, "Why not?" Because why? Because he's a Terminator. He only knows that. So, like I said, you can reprogram him all you want, and it can happen, but you better understand that he came there for that reason, okay? And that he's more than likely still, waiting his turn to get rid of you. So, that'll bring me to point number 3. Point number 3 is this idea that men are complicated, and it's women who, are easy to figure out, okay? Women, get this straight, you guys are ridiculous to figure out for men, okay? It's not the other way around. You know why? Because you're smarter than us, okay? And not just that, you just think on a different level than us. There's a lot of gray area with women. There's a lot of different options for women. And with men, as I said before, not only externally, internally, it's just, keep it simple, and stuff. With you guys, opinion processor, a lot of things going on at one time, multitasking, great, all that stuff. With us, fat rat, remote control, 2 channels, okay? That's all we got, work with it, bring it down to our level, okay? We're at the lobby, you guys are 42nd penthouse, and since I don't have a King Kong in the back of my pockets, or, and the elevator's broken, fuck, I'm not taking the stairs, and neither are most of my comrades, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you gotta just bring it down a notch, I guess in closing, don't try to alternate reality. It reminds me of a girl that was in my class when I was volunteering to be a teacher's aide. And, her name was Susie, Stephanie, Sophie, I don't care. It was something. She was an adorable little girl, but, there was this game we had, dusty old game called Perfection. Some of you may remember this game, and it was a square little rectangle. It had a bunch of little shapes in it. And the idea was to match the shapes with the shapes that were inside the board. Take the little plastic piece, stick the triangle in the triangle, the diamond in the diamond. Okay, do it before the bell timer rings, or the whole board's gonna explode in your fucking face. Well, Susie would just, she keep fucking with it, and she'd do it right at first, but then she just loved to get in her head that she was going to put the wrong shapes in the wrong place. And she'd have her tongue out, really be trying to get this thing, and I'd be like, it was so frustrating. Susie, just put it away. But the other teachers insisted, oh no, she's just exploring. She's marching to the beat of her own drum. No, she's trying to bend reality to her will, okay? The reality is the diamond belongs in the diamond, and the star belongs in the motherfucking star, okay? And this is a great lesson for you women, okay? Don't try to do things the way you want to, because sooner or later, that timer's going to ding, and that board's going to explode in your motherfucking mouth, and you're going to be shitting out little plastic pieces for the next 20 years of your life. And I don't want that for Susie, and I don't want that for you, okay? So, heed my warning. Listen to my tips. And if you want more, send me $79.95, and I will promptly ask you out on a date. And maybe, after I screw you, I will give you even more tips. This is me. Blog out.